Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Leilu Nishmas Mirasi Rusbas Mordechai. Hayoim Shisho Varboim Yoim Shehem Shisho Shavuos Varboim Ba Omer or La Omer. Leilu Nishmas, a very good friend of ours, Binyamin Schwartz's grandmother was just nifter. Leilu Nishmas Hinda Bas. How do you pronounce this? Avi, how do you pronounce this name? I can't really pronounce it. Leilu Nishmas. Merchka doesn't. This is such thing. Okay. All right. Leilu Nishmas Hinda Bas Merchka, something like that. But the Akash Baruch Hu knows who it is. I'm sure she has a lot of nachas now in Chaim. She sees what her grandson is doing and her other descendants. Leilu Nishmas Esther Gruna bas Chaim Kalman on her 9th yurtzeit. She lived a true life of strength and love for Yiddishkeit. Some go from higher heights to lower. She went from higher to higher, created a family, beautiful. Dar, neshama should have an aliya from her children, grandchildren, great-grandson, the Kessler family. Yishkoyach. Another, the Kesslers and Binyamin Schwartz, both are very big parts of sponsoring the Gemaras. Sponsored by the MDY Family in honor and for zechus of our MDY Family of Chayalim. I guess that's talking about Mati. Everybody look at Mati. Watch Mati. Let's see if he chaps what's going on. Is there anybody? No. We just happen to be talking about you, and you need to leave that phone. You and your phone, no good. What? I know. He's an amazing guy, and his son should be safe. Whatever. Your time is up. You had it. By Fishel Gross, Refuah for Bryna bas Yenta Devora, and Avraham Yosef ben Chana, and for the Cholah Meron, and for the safety of all our Chayalim guarding us. Yeah, I mean, when you live in Eretz Yisrael, it's amazing. If you had the same thing, you take that and put it in America. Imagine rockets flying over Borough Park. I don't think people would be that calm. Where kids are watching, all the kids went out to watch it. It's like fireworks almost. Snarvayim. All right. All the Chayalim should have a Refuah. All the neshama should have an aliya. Here's somebody that comes to the shir very often from this room, and he's in the hospital. He doesn't want to say his name, but look at this. This is unbelievable. People. Jamie was just in the hospital. It's crazy mice. A truck. I don't know if you noticed. He had a thing on his hand. The truck almost took his hand off. It's crushed his hand. That's why he's surgeries, the whole thing. So he goes to the hospital. This is not him. This is somebody else. Here's another one from David Holder. Before COVID, I used to travel once a month, sometimes very exotic, beautiful places for work. I always wondered, since I started the daf with you, how it would work for me when the world opens again. This morning, I woke up and did the daf from a different location than my daily dining room table, but I proved that I'm capable of keeping to the routine in a different location. Big deal, he says. David Holder, here he is. Beautiful place. Cyprus. I don't know, go ask him. I'm an information thing. I don't know. It's a need-to-know basis. Listen, I'll tell you after share. He never told me. I never asked. This is from Zaidi. He says like this. He wants to know where the mikveh that I spoke about, the cheaper mikveh, the $2,500 mikveh, the link for that. Okay, but he lives in Borough Park. As a matter of fact, our Chabur in Borough Park, thank you immensely for enlightening our days and evenings by learning your daf and doing chazara. Also, you should know how many shalom biases you have saved through learning. Baruch Hashem, I'm saving other shalom biases. Wow. Because being a Daf Yomi Magid is not very good for shalom bias, but it helps other people. Very good. I'm very happy to see. What? I think they understand. Listen, vacations are less. I don't want to say this again. The last time I took my wife out to a restaurant, it was a different year. I'm not going to say which one, but it was not this year. I'm serious. There's the sacrifices. Okay, so it brings shalom bayis. It's beautiful. Boo, yeah, I got the drasha from Nachman, I got the drasha. So now you not only have the zechus of learning the daf for 45 minutes, but the zechus, family comes first. Your wife comes first. What are you worried about the other wives? 100%. Zechus of daf for a full day. We thank you again. Oh, no, so he says, so now you not only have the zechus of learning the daf for 45 minutes, but the zechus of the daf for a full day, meaning the shalom bayis that goes on in other places. We thank you again, and you should have a simchas Yenta with your family, Klal Yisrael, Shol from Borough Park. Oh. Haretz Bilam Shmoi. Where's Yosef? Haretz Bilam Shmoi. It's only you guys are gonna hear, but it's gonna come out soon. He's not gonna put the name in. Be'ez Hashem. Good morning, Rebelli. I learned that you're supposed to say Haretz Bilam Shmoi in the beginning of the email, not at the end. I learned a few things from your class so far. Anonymous isn't anonymous. Oh. From hearing Eli Cohen's email, one is supposed to name drop. I became that Lubavitcher from the email. The guy that doesn't do chitas, whatever that email was, supposed to do chitas and wants to do chitas. There's a lack of clarity as to whether writing an email is part of the initiation process. Haltzich for Shatchen, even though you're 0 for 1. That's like me saying I'm in the NBA and I keep shooting air balls. You like stuffed animals, not a judgment, just an observation. It's important we know that you learned in Panovich. I guess I mention it once in a while. Like I mentioned that Nachman Seltzer sits next to me once in a while. I don't have time to write emails. Oh, and the 26th Daf Gemara, which I wouldn't have learned otherwise. Much thanks. May go from strength to strength with continued blessing to you and yours. Haroitz Bilam Shmoi, the Lubavitcher who does chitas because of your daf. All right, I think it's time to go. Yeah. Shalom Aleichem. Who? We have David Schwartz. Shalom Aleichem from Houston, Texas. You made aliya. You're officially here? Noose, you're going to come every day? Wow. Very nice. What, you watched the shir in Houston? You? Not really. Okay, I don't want to put you on the spot. But no, okay, you're going to try this one out. Yeah, Micha Leger. Shalom Aleichem. Micha. Okay, Givaldik. Another Baltimore. You know, it's Fishel, the whole crew over there. Okay. Rabbi Isai, here we go. Today is Daf Amud Beis. Leiv. So we're holding last line. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. Leiv. Where's Leiv from South Africa you're talking about? I haven't seen him in a while. Bishlei Miller Meir. Yesterday we had a machloikis between Reb Meir and Chachamim. So we know that there are 5 tefillos in the mikvah on Yom Kippur for the Kohen Gadol. And each one of the tefillos requires 2 kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. And we established yesterday at the end of the shir that according to Reb Meir, the 2 kiddush yadayim v'raglayim go on the levisha. They're both in one part. So Bishloi Miller Reb Meir, Hainu de Mishkachas Lo Asara Kiddushin. It makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm just going to steal this for a second. I worked really hard on this one. Just so you know, like this was for the next sugya. I show it for 20 seconds and it took like an hour and a half to make. But she's not here. She's in a different country for a reason. These are the 5 tefillas. We're going to go into it. The 5 tefillas, okay? So according to Reb Meir, this 2, when you put this on, 2 equals 10. But according to Chachamim, we established yesterday that on the first one, there's only 1 tefillah for the levisha. So now we're missing 1, says the Gemara. These have 2, fine. But plus 1 is 9. Where's the 10th? Says the Gemara, well, not really. There's 2, and over here there's only 1. Because there's one for the levisha, putting it on. So there's 9 over here. Says the Gemara, we only have 9 according to Rabbanon. So the Machlokes says the Gemara, that according to Chachamim, there'll be 2 kiddushim in the last one. The final, after he's done with all the avodas and everything, he's about to take off his clothes. Say Chachamim, there'll be another kiddush. 1 before he puts on his clothes, or for the putting on the clothes, and 1 after he's done. And according to Reb Meir, that final 1 happens in the beginning. There's 2 for putting on the levisha. That's where he does his final Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim. Ton Rabbanon. So, let me just give you Akdama. We'll make this be very, very simple with this little chart. Go easy on me, yeah? What? Over here? Yeah, but it belongs to here. Yeah. One over here, according to Chaim, two. What? No, there's two over here. There's two over here, according to Chaim. Two over here, two over here, and finally at the end. Two. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. He washing to put it on. Yeah, of course. But he puts he has to be dressed, not dressed. Child, what he's doing, but yeah, for each one. First of all, there's things that go on. It's not. He's doing this in between. Then he washes his hands. This. Okay, let's just talk about this for a second. You wash your hands when you change your clothes. This clothes changing here. So over here he's wearing big day zav, so he washes his hands and his feet. He goes to the mikvah. Mikvah, washing his hands. He changes into his white clothing, and he does tefillah and kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. So this would be perfect. If it looks like this, it's great. So you have 5 different clothes change. He gets into the big day zav, lavan zav. It's 5 different tefillahs. Each tefillah requires 2 kiddush yadayim v'raglayim, 10 kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. What exactly he's doing? This is not going to change over here. He does a tamid in the morning, a tamid in the evening, which is also the musaf. Over here, avodas hayom. That's a ton of stuff. He's shechting the par and the ayil and then the ketairis and the dam and the sarla zazel. Everything that has to do with the yom is wearing the white clothing. Now, also very important to understand. Why is he changing from white to gold? What's going on here? Because the gold belongs over here. Anything that's over here is in gold clothing. The Shemaine Begadim. Once he goes in here, he's changing into white. This requires white. Pniim. This is chutz. So now it's understood, right? We get a better understanding of what's going on here. He's not stam changing clothing. He's changing. Who asked me? You asked me, Yisrael, yesterday. He's going to get blood on the clothing. And Chanami looked into it. You have to change your clothing. If he has blood, he would have to change. So, Tamid, Avedas Yom, Ayil is done over here, so he has to change back into Zav. Then he goes back inside to retrieve the Machta. He has all the Ketairis that was putting up smoke and everything in Kodesh HaKodashim up here. I'm not in the screen, but okay. Gary, are you with us? Okay. Yeah. No, when you get the Zoom thing, you'll be. This is the Kodesh HaKodashim, fine. And then finally, he comes outside over here to do the Tamid Shebein HaRabayim, and he's wearing his Shemaine Begadim. That's great. There's only one problem. That the Torah doesn't say it like that. The Torah says it like this. The Torah says, first goes Karban Tamid, which is outside, so requires Shemaine Begadim. Then the Torah says, Avodas Yom and Machta. He does everything. So that's white and white. White does not require tefillah, doesn't require kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. So in fact, there's one tefillah over here, one tefillah for the white, and then he goes to the Shemaine Begadim and stays in the Shemaine Begadim. So there's 3 tefillahs, not 5. How do you get to 5? The only way you can get to 5 is if it alternates like this. Zav, lavan, zav. But the Torah doesn't say it like that. The Torah says it like this. So obviously we have to switch it up and put the machta where the ayil is. And put the ayil where the machta is, and then everything makes sense. You switch these 2 guys, so you have zav, lavan, and then you take this guy where it says 3, put him over here, zav, lavan. That's it. That's the sugya for now. Let's see inside. Taraban. After it tells us everything that he does, it says, and he comes into the oil mayid. What's he doing there? He's done. He finished everything. So we understood for a second that he did the Ketairis. He lights up the Ketairis in the Kodesh HaKodashim, waits 2 minutes, it goes poof, Now he has other things to do, so he takes it with him. That's what we thought. No. He leaves it there for a long time. He goes ahead, does his other things that he has to do. He's very busy. Later on, after the ayil, he'll come back and take the machta, he'll take the shovel full of ketores. Everything makes sense in the parasha. This pasuk is problematic. My time, why is it like that? Omer of Chizda, Gemiri. The Gemara is not going to explain why it's out of order, but the order teaches us something. A kohen gadol must do 5 tefillos and 10 kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. V'kisidron, and if it's exactly like the Torah says, like this, lemishkachs shalish tefillos, b'shisha kiddushin. So that cannot be. Okay, so memela we have to flip it. That's why the Torah says all of a sudden ubah hakohen to tell us that he goes inside to take the machta, and the machta comes before the machta comes after the ayil. And memela we have the right amount of tefillos. Tanya. So if we look at the Gemara says Gemiri chomesh tefillos v'asor kiddushin. Gemiri means it's halacha ma'aseh Sinai. So look at Taisus on the top here real quickly. Taisus says Temeli yihilchas sakra lamali. Come on. If it's halacha ma'aseh Sinai, this 5 tefillos. So what's the pasuk doing here? Shleimar yilav kro hava amino chomesh tefillos yitbol afilu b'zachar zeh kulam biyachad. So Taisus is amazing. And this, to explain you, this Taisus, it reminds me of a story, Ma'aseh Shaya. I was once in a mikvah. All these stories only happen to me. I was once in a mikvah. And I'm there, my cell phone, the whole thing, and I see a guy, like, drowning in the mikvah. So I'm thinking to myself, what, am I going to take my cell phone out, my wallet out? You got to save the guy. I jump right into the mikvah, I grab the guy, and he's, like when a guy's drowning, they go crazy. He's fighting me off. So I took care of him, I knocked him out of shtickle, schlepped him out of the mikvah, I'm about to resuscitate him. And he says, Meshugana, I'm doing shai tvilos. So what does that mean? There are people that stick their hand out of the mikvah, and they go like this. They leave their body in because they have to do 310 tefillos. I didn't realize. I thought he was dying. No, that's a ma'aseh sheloi haya klal. You know how you know? Because I wasn't the mikvah, whatever. Fine. So, look, saving a chassid, please. No, but there are people. Literally, there's Breslov Hasidim that say you have to go to the mikvah 310 times a day. So they stick their finger out and they go like this. They just go like this. Okay, it looks a little weird, but that's what they do. So that's what Taisus says over here. Yishleimar. Okay, whatever. Ilav kro hava mina chomish tefillos yitbol afilu b'zeh chazeh kulam biyachad. Taisus says that without the pasuk, I would think you could just go into the mikvah, come out, do 5 dunks real quickly. The pasuk tells you to break it up with the order of the avodah. The halacha ma'aseh Sinai tells me how many. I need 5 plus 10. But how do you do it? How do you break it? That's why you need both of them. You need a combination of a pasuk and halacha ma'aseh Sinai. Zok the Gemara. Tanya Omer Yehuda. Menayin lechomish tefillos va'asori kiddushin shetoivel kohen gadol u'mekadosh bo beyoy. Where do I know this whole thing? Talmud loymar uba aroy neloyel moyelu poshal is bigli habad. So he takes off the white. V'rochatz is b'sori b'mayim b'mokim kadosh v'lovash is begodav v'yotza v'osa. So he takes off his begodim and he does a rechitza. Halamata shekola mishana. Me'avoida la'avoida tone tefillah. Let's see if we can find this real quickly. By the way, this is not to make any litzanos here, middle shir, but I had a havamina, a crazy havamina. I'm serious, I was going to do like a whole chart of poshat v'lovash. So I was going to do something like this, and I brought it to Kyle, I said, could I use this? And like, absolutely not. But I already had it, so I had to bring it here to share. So, we'll go somewhere else here. No, please don't. Rabbi Yehuda holds Uba Aaron. that he's going from the white to the gold. You're going to see Rebbe has a different way of learning for now. So there's two steps here. First, we're going to learn how do you know tefillah, and then how do you know that each tefillah requires 2 kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. Once we establish that there's 5 tefillahs, then we establish how many kiddush yadayim v'raglayim are necessary. Then we know there's 10 kiddush yadayim. So that's Rabbi Yehuda, since it says in the pasuk that he went from the white to the gold, and it was v'rachatz. So you see, you need a tefillah. Omer Rebbe minayin l'chamish tefillah sh'lasar kiddush shteiv l'kohen gadol. I say it's different. I learned from a different place. He should wear the white. In other words, he's coming out of the gold, going into the white, a little different than Rabbi Yehuda, exact opposite. And he's going to have the white clothing that we don't have next to me today. Everything is white. The avnate, the hat, the belt. Big day kodesh, big day kodesh. And he goes to the mikvah. You see that he has to be toivel. The Gemara finishes off, completely extra words, unnecessary. So what are we doing with those words? The Gemara is going to tell us that he's trying to preempt a question, and because he has a question, we're going to see on Amud Beis. So remember, big day kodesh are 3 extra words. From there you learn that you go back and forth. If I learn one direction from gold to white, so now I know from white to gold because of these 3 words. And there are 5 avodos. These are the 5 avodos right here. Bringing the sheep in the morning that you do every morning, that requires Shemona Begadim. Why? Because it's in the Azara. Avodos hayoim bebig day love. Where am I? Avodos hayoim bebig day love. We said already. There's a lot of stuff going on. The par, the soyer, all the stuff. The sprinkling of the blood, the ketores inside Kodesh Kodashim. Bebig day love. Eloi ve'elaam bebig day zav. Now he takes the ayil ram. It's done over here, so it needs Shemona Begadim. Talmud shebein arbayim. You see, he was right. I did skip it. Retroactive. Kafu machta bebig day lavan. To take out the shovel full of ketores requires white clothing. Why? Because it's going into Kodesh Kodashim. Then afterwards he does Talmud shebein arbayim bebig day zav. It's not only Talmud shebein arbayim; it includes also the musafim. So that requires the Shemona Begadim because it's done in the Azara. Okay, fine. By the way, we're talking about kafu machta, just as the chazara. What happens if a Yisrael goes into the Kodesh HaKodashim and removes the machta? Is he chayiv misa or not chayiv misa? Now, he's chayiv misa because he went into Kodesh HaKodashim. But let's say he didn't know, he went, he said, oh, the Chaim forgot his machta, let me go help him, and he runs in a shogig. It's b'shogig. You're not chayiv misa b'shogig. It's b'shogig. If I take you and throw you into Kodesh HaKodashim, you're not going to die. No? Okay, he threw himself. Okay, what's the answer? The answer is very, very good. Rabbi Lipton. We learned that in order to be chayiv misa, it has to be a matana. You have to go this way. Taking away, you're not chayiv misa. Okay, just a chazara here. Says the Gemara, okay, now once we establish both Rabbi Yehuda and Rebbe have a different pasuk, but they both say the same thing, there are 5 tefillahs. So how do I know the kiddushin, the kiddush yadayim v'raglayim, tamaloyma, uposhat v'rochas v'lovash. It says in pasuk Daled in Perik Zayin. Here's pasuk Daled, Chav Gimel, and Chav Daled. In pasuk Daled it says v'rochas b'mayim. And then it says in pasuk Gimel upashat, he removes his clothing, and then it says v'rochatz. So this v'rochatz is extra. So we're going to put the v'rochatz like a sandwich, smack in the middle of the pashat and the v'lavash, which is the continuation of pasuk Chav Daled. V'lavash says in Chav Daled. So it's pashat. So you need a rechitza for pshita. You need a rechitza for levisha. So that's 2. For the pashat you need 1 rechitza. of Kiddush Yadayim Reglaim, and for the lavash, wearing the clothing, you need 1. Now, so that's, says the Gemara, Rebbe Lezer, Rebbe Shimon, says Rashi, this goes according to Rebbe Yehuda. Omer kavachomer. So that's why I put over here, according to Rebbe Yehuda, you have a kavachomer / a pasuk. So what's the kavachomer? Uma b'mokim she'ein ton tefillah, ton kiddush. All year round, you don't have to be tovel in the mikvah, but a kohen has to go over to the kiyar and wash his hands, as a few people pointed out, and I kind of mentioned it. The kohen gadol doesn't have to go to the kiyar unclothed. You bring the water to him. Okay. But the point is, you're taking water that's in the kiyar that has special kedusha. It's more kaddish than a mikvah. It's a different kind of kedusha. Magish Taran Tefillah, Yom Kippur, where you're required to go to the mikvah. We just said it's a pasuk mefurish. You have to go to the mikvah 5 times. All 5 times. It's daraisa. And it is Shetan Kiddush. Certainly, you should have to do the kiyar. Imal Allah on Kiddush Echad, Afkan Kiddush Echad. But if you're learning from there, from all year round, so go all the way with all year round. All year round, the kohen only washes his hands once. There's no before and after. You don't have to do it twice. Okay, so that's why in this chart, Rabbi Yehuda is learning from a combination of a kavachomer from all year round / a pasuk ashalavash to teach us, no, you're required twice. How do you know the idea, the concept of Kiddush Yadayim? From the weekday from a kavachomer. How many times? Ashalavash. It's extra. You can't undress yourself if you didn't wear clothes to begin with. So it's extra. Both. The levisha and the pshita both require Kiddush Yadayim Reglaim. That gives us 2 times 5 tefillos equals 10 Kiddush Yadayim Reglaim. Omer Rabbi Yehuda, Menayel Chamish Tfilos, Vasora Kiddushin Shetoiva Kohen Gadol Umekadish Baybayim. How do I know 10 plus the 5 Tfilos and the 10 Kiddushin? Kamaloymar Ubaharon Oil Moed Berachas Sorry Bamayim B'Mokim Kodesh. Holamato Shekola Mishana Ma'avoda Avoda Ton Tfilah. From one avodah to the other, you need to go into the mikvah. Ashkechom a big day love on the big day zav. It's not the Gemara is just taking what we learned already before, the idea, and let's elaborate a little bit. The question is, great, you see in the pasuk that you go from, it's even in this chart, if you want to see, love unto zav. Rabbi Yehuda is talking about love unto zav, this whole pasuk. Bar is talking about from white to gold. So great, so we see from white to gold. How do you know that when you go from the gold to the white, when he goes into the Kodesh Kodashim, how do you know that way you need to do tefillah in the mikvah? Ashkom big day love big day zav, the big day love him in nayin, how do you know it? Chana the very small, kal v'chomer. I got a kal v'chomer. So we just turned Amud Beis sponsored l'schus shidduch shein l'rochel bas Avraham Tzvi and Leilu Nishmas, all the victims of Meron, Refuah Shlem for all the victims of Meron, and a Chama for the mishpachas. Unfortunately, that kid that's in our neighborhood, right? There's no what's going on with him. Slight movement. Okay. Improvement. He's breathing on his own. All right. Baruch Hashem. Yossi, right. Right. Yechiel, right. Yechiel, right, son. All right. Zok the Gemara. So what's the Kavachomer? Tanei Rishmal. Kavachomer. Uma big dizov shein koyin nichnas. All the Hillels. It's the same thing with them. Ma big dizov shein koyin nichnas bohem lefnai v'lefnim ton tefillah. So, no, it's beautiful. Seriously, when it's better to come late, maybe not to come to the front of the room when you're late, but it's better to come late, chaparine, 2 minutes at the end of the shade than not to come at all. I'm serious. No, there's no room at the No, I'm not shucking you. I'm giving you a compliment. I'm just not going to say which hill you are, so nobody. It's machlokes whether you should come. And I pass in you should come. Ma big dizov shein koyin nichnas bohem lefnai v'lefnim. The big dizov, the koyin gadol, where does he go with the big dizov? The shmonim gadim. He only goes into the azara. Shein koyin lefnai v'lefnim. Taon. What do I do with my thing? Here. Ma big dizov shein koyin lefnai v'lefnim. Tefillah requires a tefillah, even though you're not going into kodesh HaKadoshim. Big day love him. Of course, if you go from Zav to Lavan, it should require tefillah because I'm going to the holiest place on earth. I'm going to Kodesh HaKadoshim. And he did Shadon tefillah. Okay, it's a beautiful kavachomer, but ikil mifrach. Ma lebig dizov shekain kaparasam meruba. All year round, you use these bgadim. So you see that all year round, because I do it so often, might have more of a chumrah than going to the holiest place on earth. I saw Rabbi Yitzchak Zilberstein wanted to bring from your raya if a guy is mesubak, should you buy machzorim for Yom Kippur or a siddur for the weekday? From here, maybe you could bring your raya. I didn't look through the whole thing, but Ein Sham. Yeah. Omer Rebbe. Now we're going into Rebbe. He said before, we're just repeating what we said before. So he has a different pasuk, and his pasuk is going from gold to white. And then we said, how do you know Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim according to Rebbe? Uba Aaron is not referring, Uba Aaron is the same exact pasuk, by the way, that Rabbi Yehuda uses, but they use it for different things. Rabbi Yehuda says it's talking about Tefillah, and Rebbe holds that Uba Aaron is talking about Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim, it's not talking about Tefillah. Okay. This is just repeating what we said already. So from here you learn Cholah Meron. When you go from one avodah to the other avodah, just like Rabbi Yehuda said, but just from a different source, it requires a tefillah in the mikvah. Ask the Gemara the same question we asked on Rabbi Yehuda. You see only the idea of going from the shmoyne begadim to the white begadim. The big day lavan, the big day zav minayin. But how do you know reverse? This is interesting. We're going to use the exact kavachomer in the reverse. Ma big day lavan. The big day lavan, you only use it once a year. Nevertheless, you have to do a tefillah, says Rebbe, big day zav, because we're going from white to gold. So we established that you have to do a tefillah for the white clothing, and you only use it once a year. The Kohen Gadol wears the white clothing once a year only, on Yom Kippur. Nevertheless, it requires a tefillah. Big day zav, and then you're doing tefillah. So the shmoyne begadim that I use it all year round, that has more kedusha maybe, it should require tefillah. You're just using the same logic you used before, but in the reverse. If you have a problem with it, look in Taisus, he discusses it. So maybe that's why a tefillah is required. It makes a lot of sense. He's going into the holiest place on earth. It requires a tefillah. Don't bring a riot to the rest of it. Says the Gemara, Hainu diktani. Now you know why we preempted it before. Omer big de kodesh heim. Big de kodesh heim are 3 extra words to teach us that if I already know they're going to do a tefillah when I go from white to gold, so certainly from gold to white. Not certainly, but also because of these extra 3 words. Says the Gemara, v'chomesh, what you want to say is fakert? Did I say fakert? No. Okay. V'chomesh avodah saying. What are the 5 avodas? Here we go again. 5, not this one, but this one. 5 avodas. Same thing that we learned before. We're not changing. Tamid shachar bebigdei zav. The morning tamid, it's in the azara with gold. Avodas hayom bigdei lavan. All the things that have to do with Yom Kippur are in the white clothing because they're inside the heichal, the kodesh kadashim. Eli ve'elam, his ram, the ram of the nation. Bebigdei zav. Again, it's in the azara, so you need shmoyne begadim. Kavo machta, going back in the kodesh kadashim to remove the k'tayres bebigdei lavan, and tefillah and kiddush yadayim reglayim. All these things require, because it's another avodah, you're changing places, changing clothing, need a tefillah and kiddush yadayim reglayim. According to Rebbe, how do you know each one requires shnei kiddush? Okay, so going back to this, upashat v'rochatz, v'rochatz v'lovash. No, different limud. Yeah, this limud. Sorry, this limud. So this is in between. It already says v'rochatz over here on top. So this v'rochatz is extra. So to teach us that the rochatz goes on both, on the top and the bottom, on the levisha and the pshita, you need kiddush yadayim reglayim. Says the Gemara. But according to Rebbe, hay b'tvila ksiv. So how did I learn kiddush yadayim reglayim from a pasuk of tvila? It made it in the tvila. The nafkalei b'bigdish kodesh hein. But I don't need it for tefillah, so it's completely extra. So I'm going to use it for what I needed here, and I need to learn kiddush yadayim reglayim. But if so, so why are you saying it in a lashon of rachat? Say kiddush. Tell me that's what you're talking about. No, I have to use a lashon of tefillah rather than what we're really dealing with, which is kiddush yadayim v'reglayim. To teach us, ma kiddush b'makom kadosh, af tefillah b'makom kadosh. Where do you do tefillah? Ma kiddush, sorry. Where is kiddush? Over here. Here's the kiyar, right over here. And that is inside the azara. So where's the tefillah going to be? Over here, inside the azara. Rather over here, not over here, a mikveh and sharamayim that's in the chayil. It has to be in the kodesh like the kiddush yadayim v'reglayim. No. So I know what you're asking. We learned the first tefillah, but the first tefillah over there means any tefillah. What? On Yom Kippur, there's no first tefillah. Oh, they're all da'iraisa, they're all inside. Right? Yeah, Rashi is a little, it's hard to understand Rashi. Yeah. Okay. The pashtus is, we have to understand, they explain what Rashi means, but the pashtus is that we're talking about 5 tefillahs of Yom Kippur that are halacha mishmar Sinai with the pasuk, so these are, they all require kodesh. I think. I hope I'm not making a mistake now. Right, but that the first one, I probably misspoke. That first one is first, meaning the regular one. Barishayna means any, I don't think it means the first one, I think it means all year round. A typical tefillah, not the tefillah, but hold on a second, because we said that, over there Rashi said that, because it has nothing to do with Yom Kippur. Yeah, you're right. I have to look into it. We said the first tefillah, which is not part of the avodah, okay. But, okay, one thing's for sure. It's for sure deraisa. The first tefillah is deraisa. So maybe you're right. I don't know. Now I confuse myself. Rashi says that what? That it's not deraisa? No, it is. Right. So that's what they deal with. That's what they deal with, and that is it's almost certain it's deraisa. Rashi says, we have to understand why Rashi says that. Well, we said the Chomesh Tefillos, it's halacha mishmar Sinai, it's a pasuk, etc. We said this already? Yeah. Omer of Kessler we're holding? Oh, no, we're not holding there. Kiddush, we said that. Rabbi Yehuda, Kiddush Minale. At the end of the day, how does Rabbi Yehuda know Kiddush Shimon? So he learns from this a combination of the Kal V'chomer and Asher Lovash. Omer of Chizda. Hodi Rebbe, so now Rebbe, which we just discussed, Mafkim in the Reb Meir or Mafkim in the Rabbanon. He doesn't hold either like Reb Meir or like Rabbanon, he's holding them both. Why? Mafkim in the Rabbanon, Dilu Rabbanon Amri, Kishu Lavush Mikadesh, V'yomer Kishu Poisha Mikadesh. So we had this conversation yesterday. Is he wearing clothing when he's doing Kiddush Yadayim v'Reglayim or not wearing clothing? Rebbe is of the opinion that he's not wearing clothing. And we had yesterday that only Reb Meir holds he's not wearing, but Chacham hold he is wearing. So right there, Rebbe cannot go according to Chacham. Umabkiv in the Rebbe, but Lamaisa, it seems like he does go like Reb Meir. They both hold the same thing, that he's undressed when he's doing Kiddush Yadayim v'Reglayim. No, he doesn't hold like Reb Meir. Why? The Reb Meir are Hach Kiddush Basra, the second Kiddush Yadayim Kishu Lavish Mekadesh. Right? So in the beginning, all the way in the beginning, the first Avodah, according to Reb Meir, he's doing the second Kiddush. The first Kiddush he's doing unclothed, the second Kiddush Yadayim he's doing when he's clothed. V'yomar Kishu Poisha Mekadesh. That when you do Kiddush, according to Rebbe, both of them he's undressed. So he's Mechulik on Reb Meir. Omer Ravacha B'Yakov Vakol Moedim B'Kiddush Sheni Shaloivish Vachakach Mekadesh. Ravacha comes along and says, no. According to Rebbe, even Rebbe agrees that you have to wear clothing for the second Kiddush Yadayim, the second out of the two. My time and Amakra, he proves it from the pasuk. He comes close to the Mizbeach. Misha eni mechusar elagisha. You're missing one step, going towards the Mizbeach. Over here, you're missing 2 steps, to put on clothing and to walk towards the Mizbeach. That can't be. So everybody agrees that he's wearing clothing for the second Kiddush. Omar le Ravacha berei the Rav le Ravashi le Rav Chizda is le the Rav Acha le Ravacha is le the Rav Chizda. It cannot be that Rebbe holds both shitas. That he's wearing, that first of all, he must have 2 kiddushim without clothing. And plus, what we just said, that he has to wear clothing before he goes to the Mizbech and do a kiddush. That can't be, right? Because that equals 3 kiddushim. It can't be that Rebbe holds, like the first shita, that he has to be undressed for 2. And like the second shita, you can't dance on both chasanas. That, like the second shita, that he has to wear clothing for 1 kiddush. And like the first shita, that he has to do 2 kiddush without clothing. Because 1 plus 2 equals 3. So now you have 3 kiddush yadayim v'raglayim times 5 avodas equals 15. It's impossible. You only have 10 kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. Let's go another minute or 2. It's not even 8 o'clock. So he said, this is kiratzoi. It's an interesting lashon. We always talk about shchita. This is shchita that's called kiratzoi. Why? So as we explained, he goes through the roiv because now he has to do I have a nice riddle. He has to do shchita and kabbalas adam. So he does the shchita. No mass yesterday. So my chavrusa tainas enechanami is a problem of shihia. So he would have to grab it like in mid-motion kind of thing. Something like that. But here's the shaila. Why can't the kohen gadol do shchita? What did I say? No. And he said, you were right. You were right, I was wrong. That even a roiv, he said, the Ramah, I think even doing roiv, and you continue on Shia, I remember learning it was a big chiddush, yeah. Okay. Yeah, but if you hold like the Ramah, that's considered shihiyah, so then the basement is remakbina. Fine, anyway. Let me ask you a shaila. And because you answered that, you can't answer the shaila. Here's you're out of this. Why can the kohen gadol do the shchita and with his other hand do Kabbalah? Why does he need another kohen to do it? The item's holding. Cannot do Kabbalah with your left hand. Okay, great. Says the Gemara, my karatzai. What does this word mean? We've never seen this word. Omer lishno diktalahu. It's to kill. In other words, to shecht. Now, why are we calling it a funny way? Because it is funny. It's only 3/4 or 51%, and then he lets somebody else take over and do it. So maybe it's called krot. Or where do I see this in the pasuk? Egla yifefiyah Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is a beautiful calf. Keretz mitzafim bava. My mashma. So keretz. It's the keretz is going to come from the north. Keretz is to kill. They're going to get killed from the north. My mashma. Yosef. Malki yoyava. Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is they have a great kingdom. However, they're going to get destroyed from the north. So mainly you see that the idea of keretz is a shchita, and we'll finish over here. Have a wonderful day. Shir hamalois ma'amkim k'sicha adinoi. Welcome. You should have a yishuv kal, if there's such a thing. Where do you live again? You live here in Amud Beis?
Yeah, we have my daughter lives here with her family, right?
Sorry. And where do they live?
Good morning, Rebelli.
Good morning, Rebelli.
I'm a queen.
Almost.
Mark. I'm a Queens boy.
Mark.
I'm listening.
Good morning.
You're muted.
My dad
The IDF is thinking about it.
You got Micha to be good.
Yeah.
You're muted again, Eli.
What did you say about
The IDF is proposing a ground.
I think it's Yoshua.
Who's in charge? Somebody's muting me every 2 seconds.
Probably Yoshua.
No, Yeshua's not on.
Not in charge.
Is he?
He's
It's
the
one of
host.
three people.
It's
You must have
probably
My hands.
Gary.
I'm keeping my hands in the air.
Mark
Showing my hands.
Ben are the main camera.
And Mark, are you
Voice controlled
guilty?
mute.
I used my
Somebody had a
eyes.
good idea yesterday that maybe we should do a get together for the YouTube people and do like a Zoom session. Stam in the middle of nowhere, not enough, like Erev Yontif or something.
No. You're gonna
No,
have to do a shear for us, no?
No shear, nothing, just the schmooze.
No, before Yontif, you don't have to do anything.
Oh yeah, I have to, but I'm saying
Sunday for Monday.
Yeshua put up the shear that you can shear at midnight, the first night of Yontif, or in Israel, the night of Yontif. Is it going to be
Yeah,
available?
we're trying to get a Shabbos guy to turn Zoom on for us.
I don't know. I thought about it. I'm gonna have to give the shear again, Matzah Yontif or something.
1 second. Maybe you could pull off like you did there in Pesach. You do it in
The camera on the timer. All right, yeah.
and we could maybe join you on the Zoom doing an Erev Yontif.
That's gonna work. It's us. The Rabbanim don't allow it to be recorded.
No. I'm saying you doing it later in the
It
afternoon.
was a joke. It was a joke.
Erev Yontif by you, which is early.
Ellie will use the background like
everybody used to be good. Everybody was at home, and people were thinking about elderly people. Could you join the Seder over
Zoom?
Different.
Ellie, we can put a background on to make it look like you're in Chicago. Put you back in your brother's house with the lights off.
I meant before Yontif.
You know what? You guys realize that I came to Eretz Yisrael. I don't need glasses anymore. It was just my brother-in-law's room over there that had very poor
The
lighting.
Crazy.
Was that my problem?
I really thought I needed glasses. I bought all these glasses. All I needed to do was buy a light bulb.
When did the light bulb go on, Ellie?
How
A
many
light
people
bulb went on over his head.
Exactly.
Light bulb.
Ellie, I don't have a good MD, solid MDY status, but a special request. He welcomed David Schwartz. He's from Houston. I davened with him during the week.
I did.
So I heard you welcome. But I mean, he's a Kohen. Keep him in. You asked him, is he going to join? It's not a question.
No,
you got to say to him.
I spoke to him. I already spoke to him. Between
All
now and the shear, I already went over to him. We schmoozed.
All right.
I mean, he came over to me. I
Tell
called
him
him.
Tell him Eitan Merowitz says hi.
And you can say hi to Greg Barrett over there also. He's one of two new Gino Chomron people.
What'd you say?
Hey, Dan.
Wow.
Greg Beretta, he's a new Gino Chomron person.
Hey, Dan.
It's all up.
There are two. One's YouTube.
Do you remember Eli Chopper who comes up to Teaneck once a year?
Redhead Ellie Chopper. I know Ellie Chopper from 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
Really?
Do you
Redhead
remember?
Ellie-
Do you remember the Paul meetings for Yad Eliezer?
Take care.
I don't remember.
Wait,
David, do you like David Al-Chaza? You like my mice with the mikveh?
Eitan, you from
Which mice? When did you say it?
I think, David, I think you're gonna get it.
Oh, you missed it at the beginning?
When
I had to do it.
Ellie was a lifeguard.
When you said the mice today?
I got woke up by the Breslov part.
What's about the mikveh that Ellie built? There's a lot of wrestlers.
Ellie pulled him out by his white shorts.
You have the knock save you, and then the
What's
mikveh.
the mikveh story? I missed it. What's the mikveh story?
Guys.
That was the best part.
Guys, Rabeli secretly aggressive.
David, you gotta actually watch the shit now.
No, I joined like 7:30. But when did he say the shit? When? When did he say the
No
story?
kidding.
Obviously,
Towards the
before you
beginning.
came on, so you'll have to
Okay,
go back to
how
the video.
the beginning of Zara?
He said it at the beginning.
10 minutes of the Gemara.
All the kids up Tria.
It'll be in the classics.
It'll be in
I have to. Sorry, I'm actually going to
go to your next door neighbor. They have YouTube. You don't have YouTube.
Just don't look like you're drowning, and then you won't repeat his story.
What, he pulled out a guy that was just totaling because he thought he's drowning.
Yeah.
You don't want to ruin it. Don't force us. You have to watch it. It's not good repeated. Rebelli is a classic.
If you send us emails, we'll tell you.
You can't explain a joke.
Wait,
You know?
no,
It's like the
Joseph,
same
but
thing. You
the
can't tell the
Really
story twice
classics.
in one
That's
Zoom.
why it's from LA Classics. You can't repeat it.
Joseph will put the graphics to it.
Right, Mark?
You'll really it'll go into your head better that way.
Where were you? You ran away, Mil?
It reminds me last night. Last night there was a guy. It was about Arabs fighting.
They just told me that's almost Baruch. I gotta run.
Wow. Okay.
know
Have a
it.
wonderful day. Eli.
Okay, great day,
Last
everyone.
night here-
Take care.
Last night there was a guy.
I love you, man. Thank you so much.
I was
Good
walking
night.
home. I was walking home and I
Good
saw a
night.
plane.